Welcome to Lucid Dream, Sleep and Science Stories, a place where each sleep is not just rest, but a journey inward into the mind, where you can sleep yet remain aware.
Listen yet let go. Here we tell stories about science.
About the mind and about tranquility.
No noise, no judgment, just you, your breath.
And the night. Each video is a gentle flow, where knowledge becomes a soothing lullaby, and philosophy becomes a small light filtering through your sleep. Tonight, we will begin a long journey, 3 hours with Stoic philosophy, Stoicism, a path that has guided countless souls through the storms of emotion to touch stillness and inner freedom. If you're lying in bed, let your body relax. Breathe in deeply and breathe out gently. Feel the breath passing through, carrying away everything heavy from the day. Each time you exhale, the outside world moves a little further away. No need to try to understand, no need to try to remember.
Just listen.
And let each word slowly drift past you like small waves lapping at the calm, sandy shore of your mind. Tonight, we're not trying to control sleep, we're simply learning to let go and let sleep come to us like an old friend. Welcome to Lucid Dream, where sleep can awaken you. When the night is truly quiet, when the sounds outside gradually fade into the darkness, leaving only the soft beating of your own heart, that's when you begin the journey back to yourself. Not to any particular place, but returning to the space within where everything slows down and the world no longer demands that you be strong.
Answer questions or struggle. Here you can breathe. Not for anyone, not for anything.
Just breath. Simple, natural, honest. Breathe in. Feel the cool air gently touching your nostrils. Breathe out and imagine all the day's weariness dissolving like thin smoke drifting away. No need to hold on. Tonight we meet 3 old friends. 3 souls of clarity amid a chaotic world. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca and Epictetus. Not as distant saints, but as companions on the journey, people who once trembled, felt anger, experienced loss, and then found peace by accepting. Marcus, the loneliest emperor in the world, amid boundless power, still asked himself, if everything will eventually fade away, then what is truly worth worrying about so much? Seneca, wealthy yet serene, who wrote in the darkness of prison, "No one is unhappy because of what they don't have, only unhappy because of what they think they lack." And Epictetus, a slave who became a philosopher, who simply smiled when he lost his physical freedom because he knew no one can hurt us
unless we allow it to happen in our own mind. They don't tell us about the outside world,
but about the small universe within each person. There, we realize something simple yet profound. Doesn't promise ease, but it's precisely in difficulty that we are forged, like iron under fire, like a seed in the dark, damp earth. Stoicism doesn't tell us to flee from emotions, but teaches us to look straight at them, like looking at a storm, knowing the storm will eventually pass and the sky will remain. Now you can close your eyes. Imagine you're standing before a perfectly still lake at night. The water is so calm it reflects every star. When you drop a pebble, circular ripples spread out, slow, wide, then disappear. That is your mind. When you're busy, it ripples. When you're angry, it becomes murky. But when you're still, with just one gentle breath, the lake's surface will gradually become clear again, and in that clarity you can see yourself. Not the role, not the expectations, but the quietest, most steadfast and clearest part. There are 2 types of things in life, what we can control and what we cannot. That is tonight's first lesson. You cannot control who loves you, cannot control how the world sees you, cannot control what others say behind your back, but you can choose how to respond. You can choose calm instead of anger. Choose to let go instead of clinging. Choose to understand instead of judging, and in that very choice, you find freedom again. Try to imagine. Each of your thoughts is a small sail, and the mind is the ocean. The wind of the world always blows. News, expectations, comparisons.
Fears. If you try to fight against the wind, the boat will rock.
But if you lower the sails and let yourself drift with the current of the present, you will realize peace is not the absence of chaos, but not being moved by it. Now in the gentle darkness, listen to something important. You don't need to search for more. Don't need to try to become someone else. All the strength, clarity, and freedom you're seeking are already within you. You don't need to change the world to find peace. You only need to stop letting the world change you. Breathe in, slowly, deeply. Breathe out, long and gently. It feels as if each breath is a thread connecting you to reality. Each breath is a step returning. When you close your eyes, you don't disappear from the world. You simply retreat inward into a place where no one can hurt you, into the quiet fortress of your own self. There, you hear a small voice. I cannot control what comes, but I can choose how to receive it. Each layer of thought gradually dissolves, like morning mist retreating from the lake's surface. Only stillness remains, stillness that is not emptiness, but fullness of meaning. In that stillness, you realize you are not alone. Every person in every era has sat in the night and asked what you're asking, who am I and what brings me peace? The answer from Stoic philosophy is very simple, but enough to change an entire life. I am at peace not when the world is calm, but when my mind no longer depends on it. Now, let me tell you one last thing for this part. You don't need to fight emotions. Just don't let them control you. Emotions are merely weather. You are the sky itself. The sky doesn't blame the rain, nor fears the storm. It simply exists, accepting, silent, and infinite. When breath merges with heartbeat, when the mind stops struggling, you'll feel a gentle space opening in your chest. There's no more must, no more should, only is. And is enough. Perhaps you're feeling your mind still oscillating, thoughts that refuse to sleep quietly. They seep in like thin smoke, flickering between reality and memory. That is natural. The human mind was not born to be still. It was born to react, to pursue, to fear, to desire. But tonight, we will learn a different way, not to extinguish the mind, but to tame it. The ancients compared the mind to a wild horse.
Strong, stubborn, and full of energy.
If we fear it, it will drag us along.
If we beat it, it will rebel. Only when we understand and guide it will that horse carry us through the desert of chaos.
To the peaceful land of clarity. Epictetus once said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." Those words seem simple, but they are the key to unlocking every storm within. Imagine you're holding a small lamp walking in the night. The wind may blow, the rain may fall, but if you gently shield the flame with your hand, it will continue to burn. That is the image of awareness. When the mind screams, awareness is the hand that keeps the light from going out. The mind may say, "I am angry, I am afraid, I am worried," but awareness only smiles and whispers, "I am observing." And that is the starting point of freedom.
No need to eliminate emotions.
Just need to see them. Each time you realize you're angry, you're no longer completely controlled by anger. Each time you know you're worrying, you've stepped outside that worry a little. Little by little, you tame the wild horse in your head through awareness, not force. Now, breathe in deeply, breathe out slowly. It feels as if you're untying each invisible thread binding your mind. Those threads might be expectations, fear of being judged, the feeling of not being good enough. All of them tighten around you day after day, night after night. But when you exhale and observe, you're telling them, "I see you, but I am no longer you." Remember, emotions are not enemies. They are only temporary guests in the house of the mind. Anger, fear, desire. They come, they stay, then they leave. We don't need to chase them away, just don't give them the keys. Seneca once wrote, "The greatest power is not to feel nothing, but to feel and yet not be ruled by feeling." True strength doesn't lie in power or coldness. It lies in the ability to choose a rational response.
Even when emotions are screaming. True, freedom is not doing whatever you want.
But not being compelled to do what you know is wrong. The human mind is like a river. The more you force it to stop, the muddier the water becomes. Only when you stop resisting will the water naturally settle and become clear. So don't try to stop thinking, just listen to thoughts like listening to rain, coming, then going. No need to hold on, no need to chase away. Let me tell you an image. A person meditating in the middle of a marketplace. All around are voices, sounds of trading, noise. But in his head, there's only the sound of his own breathing. The world is still chaotic, but he is not swept along. That is Stoic meditation. Not fleeing from the world, but finding peace right in the midst of the world. Now try to observe your mind. Don't try to do anything. Just sit still, listen to what's going on in your head. It might be listing things to do. It might be blaming someone. It might be worrying about tomorrow. Just let it speak. Then gently smile as if you're watching a child within you expressing themselves. That is rational love, a gentleness that remains clear-minded. The mind is a tool, not a master. If you forget that, you'll become a slave to your own thoughts. If you remember that, you'll be the one steering your boat through every storm. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in Meditations, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Constantly then give to thyself this retreat. That spring is always there." You just need to stop long enough to hear the water flowing. Now, as you listen to your own breath, imagine each breath is a small cut separating you from chaos. Each exhale, you release another burden.
A memory, a comparison.
A fear, each breath is an exercise. Each sleep is a lesson in letting go. Emotions are weather, you are the sky. Fear is just clouds, worry is the wind. Let them pass through. The sky doesn't need to push them away because the sky never loses itself. You don't need to become empty to be peaceful. You only need space between thoughts. In that space, light enters.
And that light
Is awareness. When the mind is trained, you won't need the world to be calm anymore, because you yourself have become that calmness. And when you enter sleep, it's not to escape the world, but to make peace with it. When the wild horse in the mind stops struggling, it doesn't disappear. It stands still, breathes and quietly bows its head. That's the moment we realize stillness doesn't come from forcing, but from accepting. From deep within, you feel
a gentle emptiness opening in your chest.
not void, but spacious.
A spaciousness where everything can be forgiven, every memory can be laid down,
Most of human suffering doesn't come from the present, but from resisting the present. We're angry because we want the past to be different. We're afraid because we want the future in our hands. We're tired because we want the world to comply with our wishes. But Stoicism says, make the distinction between what is up to us and what is not up to us. When we stop to ask these three questions, everything becomes clearer. Is this within my control? Can I act reasonably? If not, can I let it go? Now try closing your eyes. Breathe in and ask yourself the first question. Is this within my control? If the answer is no, breathe out and imagine you're placing it on the ground, like a heavy stone falling from your hands. That is the first act of liberation. No need for lofty philosophy, just one honest breath. Epictetus said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them. Pain, loss, betrayal, they are real, but they don't define you. Only how you face them shapes who you are. You may be carrying a wound within, perhaps from long ago, perhaps something you've never spoken of. Tonight, you don't need to analyze or forget it. Just allow it to be present. Imagine you're sitting with that pain. in a quiet room. No blaming, no questioning, no running away. Just listening, and then you realize the pain is no longer as frightening as before. It becomes smaller, like a child who stops crying when they know they've been heard. Observation is the first step of freedom. When you look fear in the eye without running, it will dissolve like smoke, because resistance is what makes it stronger. Sometimes we don't need to overcome emotions, just stop fighting them. Let emotions come like guests. Watch them walk through the corridor of the mind, then quietly leave. No need to throw a welcoming party, no need to chase them away. Just look, Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." We often torture ourselves in thought more than in reality. Think about tomorrow. It hasn't come, but our mind already fears it. Think about mistakes. They've passed, but our mind still punishes itself. Acceptance means stopping the fight with what no longer exists and stopping control of what hasn't arrived. Now breathe deeply once more and imagine each breath is an arm loosening invisible threads. One thread, falling from shoulders, from chest, from mind. Body becomes lighter, mind becomes lighter. Nothing to prove, no one to compete with, just you, he, and this moment. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Amor fati, love your fate." Not surrender, but loving completely even the part we cannot change. Because in everything we cannot choose, there's always an opportunity to choose how we live with it. Sometimes acceptance is knowing you don't need to win, is knowing how to lose without losing yourself, is stopping and saying, "I've done my best. The rest no longer belongs to me." In that very moment, you feel peace like someone who's just removed a burden from their shoulders. You might feel a tear sliding down your cheek. It's okay. That tear is not weakness.
It's a signal of liberation.
Of the body when the soul allows it to breathe out after years of holding back. Every mistake, loss, trial is a lesson, not a verdict. If you can see it, you've already grown. You don't need to forgive everything. Just stop hating yourself, because character is the inner fortress of a person. No one can destroy it unless we open the gate ourselves, out of fear, out of anger, out of forgetting who we are. Guard that fortress with awareness, with breath, with compassion for yourself. You've come so far tonight. From when you began listening until now, your mind has changed. Not because you understand more, but because you've stopped resisting. That is the beginning of freedom. And as you're about to drift into sleep, remember, sleep is not forgetting, but a form of acceptance. You trust the world, trust yourself, that whatever tomorrow brings, you'll still have enough calm to keep living. From within the darkness, a small light flickers, the light of compassion and clarity. When we've learned to accept ourselves, we begin to see others through the eyes of love. When you lay down your burdens, a gentle emptiness opens in your heart. From that emptiness,
Light begins to seep in, and the light of clarity, freedom, and rational compassion. No more noise of struggle.
no more resistance of emotions, only a clear brightness, like a lake reflecting the first dawn after a long night. We begin to realize something simple. Clarity is not coldness. It is the light that allows us to see everything as it truly is, undistorted by fear or desire. You look at another person, and for the first time, you don't rush to judge. You simply see them, see their fear, see their wounds, see aspirations like your own. Then you smile, because you understand that everyone is learning how to find peace. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When people injure you, ask yourself what good or harm they thought would come from it. Understanding their perspective, you will feel sympathy rather than outrage or anger. Compassion
In Stoic philosophy is not weakness, but the clear strength of one who understands. We don't forgive to appear noble,
but because forgiveness frees ourselves. True kindness is not always agreeing, but being able to say no while still maintaining love. We don't please others out of fear of losing affection, but act from the clarity of reason, because we know that blind kindness only creates bondage, while rational kindness brings freedom to both. Imagine, in your heart there is a flame. If you're too close, it burns. If you're too far, you become cold. But if you know how to maintain the right distance, that flame warms without scorching. That is conscious love, loving without dependence, connected yet free. Seneca once said, "Love, if it is to be genuine, must be free." When we understand that, we stop expecting others to make us happy. We realize love is a gift we give when we're already full within. No more fear of loss, no more desire to possess, only gratitude for existing together. In that clarity, everything seems to soften. Words slow down, breath deepens, and the mind feels washed by the gentle light of early morning. No more trying to appear good, just returning to the innate kindness within.
No more having to live as someone wants, just living true to the clarity inside. Can you hear it?
In this stillness, there's a very small whisper. Heart open, but judgment sharp. That is how the Stoics love life, with gentle reason, with kindness that has boundaries, and with clarity that harms no one. Clarity doesn't strip away emotion, it makes emotion honest. We no longer pretend to be happy, nor need to hide sadness. We simply let everything be, and in that being, everything finds its place. You breathe in, notice the breath passing through your nose, notice the chest rising then falling. Every small movement is evidence of something greater. Everything can change, but there's a part in you that remains unwavering. That part is consciousness, the stillness that knows how to love. Marcus once wrote, "The person who follows reason in all things will have both leisure and a readiness to act. They are at once both cheerful and self-composed." True freedom is not being able to do everything, but being able to live according to what you understand. And when you reach that freedom, you no longer need anyone's validation, no longer fear being misunderstood, because you understand yourself. Through this long night, you've learned to listen, to discipline, to accept, and to love. Now there's nothing left to hold on to.
Only breath, only clarity.
And that light is you. When the light of reason gradually fades into the gentle night's shadow, everything returns to the rhythm of breath. No more philosophy, no more questions, only small streams of air flowing in and out, silently keeping us connected to life. Breathe in gently. It feels as if you're receiving something pure and fresh. Breathe out.
And let all weariness leave your body like wind gliding over a lake, like clouds drifting past a mountain peak. In breath, there is a simple lesson. Inhale, receive.
Exhale, release. Life is built upon that rhythm. If you only inhale without exhaling, you will suffocate.
If you only give without receiving, you will be depleted. Life, like breath,
always invites us to receive and let go, rhythmically, naturally, without force. Seneca once wrote, "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe, and nature is the rhythm of breath, not fast, not slow.
Not forcing, not resisting.
It simply is now, so are you.
No need to do anything.
No need to be better, no need to be more accomplished, no need to fix anything. Just be you in this moment. You may feel your body sinking into the soft bed, the weight gradually dissolving.
Arms, shoulders, chest, neck, everything releases.
Every muscle stops tensing. Every noise in your head gradually fades like thin smoke. Sleep draws near, not like a crashing wave, but like an old friend quietly entering the room. And in this stillness, you begin to hear what daytime couldn't let you hear. Not a voice, but presence. Silence is not absence. It is presence. Silence is not emptiness. It is the deep presence of all that is. Silence asks nothing of you.
It simply opens.
And when you listen to it long enough, you realize it is listening back to you. Beneath all thoughts, all stories, all memories, is a layer of pure stillness, where you've never been wounded, where you've never been afraid, where you remain whole as in the beginning. That is the inner temple.
Where you can rest without asking permission.
Without proving anything, as you lie still there, you begin to understand the true meaning of rest. Rest is not escaping from life, but trusting that life can continue without your control. Sleep is not surrender. It is trust. Sleep is not giving up, but a form of faith. Faith that the world continues, that dawn will come again, that the next breath awaits us when we wake. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in his journal, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive," but he forgot that before that, night also gives us the chance to sleep like a forgiven soul. When you gradually sink into sleep, all the day's mistakes no longer cling to you.
All unsaid words, all undone things dissolve into stillness like dust particles falling on an infinite lake. You've traveled a long journey.
From the noise of the world to the discipline of the mind, then through acceptance, to now be able to rest. You've learned to be awake even in sleep, and now you can sleep deeply, not to forget, but to be reborn. Before you completely sink into sleep, hear one last word. You are the fortress.
You are the stillness. You are the choice.
You are free. As you inhale one last time, let your body become light as dew, let your mind drift like clouds, and let the world return to itself. You don't have to do anything anymore. Tonight, everything is fine.
Everything is already in its right place. Sleep now.
Sleep to awaken. Release to live. And in that stillness, you've come home. If you still hear these words,
it means at some deep level you're still conscious. Not conscious to think, but conscious to feel.
Conscious to know that throughout this journey, you've passed through 5 doors. Stillness, discipline, acceptance, clarity, and freedom. Each door opened, a layer of yourself was cleansed, and finally, only the purest part remained. The you that is no longer defined by anything. You are no longer yesterday's mistakes.
No longer the fears not yet named.
No longer the titles, roles, or anyone else's expectations. You are simply consciousness breathing, existing at peace, perhaps somewhere. Marcus is still writing by dim lamplight. Everything outside us is but clouds. The sky itself is who we truly are. And in this moment,
you are that sky, silent, deep, boundless when you sleep.
Let your mind stop trying to understand. Just feel that life continues. The heart still beats. The lungs still breathe. The universe still turns. You don't need to do anything because everything is already in its right place. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel your body drifting in the night sea like a small star fragment. No fear, no tension.
Only peace, only trust. If you wake tomorrow, remember, all tonight's lessons remain within you.
Even if you don't try to remember, philosophy is not words, but how you see the world after this sleep. Sleep now. Tonight, you're not just resting, but returning to yourself. Thank you for journeying with Lucid Dream through this path. If you feel peaceful, let this video carry you into complete sleep and let dawn call you awake as a new soul. Lucid Dream. Sleep and science. Stories. Science for sleep. Stories for the soul. Sleep to awaken. Release to live.